everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we are diving into a brand new series today, Mega Man X. Oh boy, this has been something that I've been very much looking forward to streaming someday, because, spoilers, this freaking game I love. It is just a tremendously amazing SNES game. So I'm playing this on the Mega Man X Legacy Collection that was released on Steam some time ago, and yeah, I haven't actually played it this way. I'm more used to the times that I played it on my Wii U, but overall I feel like the experience here is going to be relatively the same. This is just an incredible game that I am looking forward to revisit here. Of course, we got a few other Mega Man X games here with this collection, and I'll definitely be going over these games sometime in the future, but tonight I mainly want to focus on the game that started it all. Good old Capcom. It's got a very interesting beginning screen here. Mega Man X specification. Heads equipped with a lot of stuff. Chest. Yeah, this is just a really cool sequence, I gotta say. Just, yeah, I love it. Warning. X is the first of a new generation of robots which contain an innovative new feature, the ability to think, feel, and make their own decisions. However, this ability could be very dangerous. If X were to break the first rule of robotics, a robot must never harm a human being, the results would be disastrous, and I fear that no force on Earth could stop him. Approximately 30 years will be required before we can safely confirm his reliability. Unfortunately, I will not live to see that day, nor do I have anyone to carry on my work. Therefore, I've decided to seal him in this capsule, which will test his internal systems until his reliability has been confirmed. Please do not disturb the capsule until that time. X possesses great risks as well as great possibilities. I can only hope for the best. September 18, 20XX. Thomas Light. Immediately kicking off with some amazing music as we go to the title screen. Right off the bat, you can tell we're in for a good time. So right from the get-go, if we go in the options menu, we can just see how the control setup is going to be for this. You can go to the sound mode to change where it be stereo, monaural, I don't know. And you can also listen to music and sound effects here, which is very cool, but we are going mainly into the gameplay of this, obviously. And password is a feature that we are probably not going to get to see because I am intending to get through this entire game in a single stream session, which hopefully won't take a whole lot of time, because, yeah, I do really freaking love this game. Just a second. Alright. Just making sure things are good here. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Just make sure everything is running smooth on my end. Of course, I'm streaming on Streamlabs OBS for my second time, and hopefully things go well this session. Starting right off, we're immediately thrust into gameplay. Mega Man X is very much a follow-up to the original Mega Man games. And for the NES, this was meant to start off a whole new generation of games on the Super Nintendo, and I feel like they passed with flying colors. This is a tremendous game when you compare it to the Mega Man games games of the past. It's amazing. So in typical Mega Man fashion, you're able to jump, you're able to fire with your blaster, and by holding the fire button, you are able to do what is called a charge attack, which does more damage. And right off the bat, we got a lot of tough enemies here. Something that I'll go into very soon that I actually managed to show off, but we'll handle that a bit later, because we got ourselves a mid-boss here. This giant bee mech. Just quickly take this thing out as well as its minions, and we are good. So a new feature to the series introduced in Mega Man X is the ability to wall jump. This is a very handy tool that definitely helps improve the overall Mega Man formula. These little things I'm collecting there are health pickups. They will refill your health should you take damage, but thankfully I haven't taken it. It's got another one of these robots to beat. In typical Mega Man fashion, just gotta jump and shoot, as the saying goes. Yeah, we took that guy out relatively. I was not expecting that to actually be alive. So as we're going through here, let's talk a bit about this series in general, and kind of my overall thoughts on it. Now, Mega Man X obviously was the first game in this brand new series, and obviously was designed as a follow-up to the original Mega Man games on the NES. Story-wise, this game takes place many years after the classic Mega Man games. So all the characters we know from there are gone, including Mega Man himself, Rock. So our protagonist here is an upgraded version of Mega Man, simply titled X, or Mega Man X. I like shooting those guys in their cars. You can actually ride the destroyed cars yourself, but it's really not a problem. Well, look at that. Hopefully that doesn't become a problem later on. So right now we just gotta go over here and just shoot any of the enemies that are here. Sequence really isn't too bad. So yeah, we're playing as a brand new generation of Mega Man, and the world that they have created here is just so cool. Oh, hello, buddy. Man, looks like Boba Fett riding a mech. So this guy here is Vile. He is our first major opponent in this game. Basically, all you have to do is just try to avoid him and shoot him as you can, but obviously things aren't going to work out for you here. This is actually a battle you're supposed to lose. Once you've taken enough damage, Vile will stun you. Leading into this. You worthless piece of scrap metal! Did you think you could defeat me? Hello, handsome! He may seem like a lot, but don't worry, he's just Zero. I guess I'm not powerful enough to defeat him. X. You shouldn't expect to defeat him. He's designed to be a war machine. Remember, you have not reached full power yet. If you use all the abilities you were designed with, you should become stronger. You may even become as powerful as I am. I'll scout ahead and collect as much information on Sigma's fortress as I can. I'll meet up with you when you get there. See you later. X, I know you can do it. So Zero here is quite the interesting character. I'd like to go more into him and why I think he's just so compelling. Also, this version of the game actually has a save feature, so yeah, don't really have to use the passwords. Yeah, I'd definitely like to talk about Zero a lot more as we progress through the series, but just know that he's a very awesome character. Alright, so now in typical Mega Man fashion, we have our choice of being able to select from one of 8 stages in order to play the game. There's also this map screen that kind of shows you the overall general locations of these characters that we're going to be facing. Stage option obviously gives you a clear view of the stage you're going to be going into, and spec kind of gives you details on the characters that you'll be facing here. And the Mega Man X one really doesn't do anything. What's nice about these games is that you're able to tackle these stages in whatever order you want. Obviously, going into some stages before others is very beneficial, especially in this game. So pretty much any one of these I could tackle any of these stages whatever order I want, but I have what I consider the most optimum route for this game, and I will be going through it today on stream. And for that, we're going to start off by taking on this guy. Chill Penguin! Typically, you'll want to go for Chill Penguin first. You'll see why very soon. Oh, I love the music here. This is just SNES music at its absolute best. I love the soundtrack of this game so much. And I definitely have a lot to say about this music as we progress forward. As we're just going through this stage right now, let's talk a bit more about this game and its characters. So many of the robots in this series aren't just robots. All of the humanoid robotic characters we've seen, like X, Vile, and Zero, are what are considered replicants. They're specifically robots designed to replicate the way that humans act, essentially creating a new human-like organism on the planet that is completely mechanical, but is still able to think and feel and make its own decisions that aren't tied to their programming. And obviously that leads to a lot of conflict, given the free will that they have, as we will be seeing much later on in this series. Now, this part's kind of awkward. You jump right on the rim of that. And of course, because of the way that Reploids are designed, sometimes Reploids will go crazy and attack people. No, these Reploids are considered mavericks, and there are specific Reploids that are designed for dealing with the threats of mavericks, and they are the Maverick Hunters, of which X and Zero are members of. Someone else I'd like to talk about will go into them much later. So, you've come. X, I gave you the ability to choose your own path in life. And I hope the world would allow you to choose a peaceful one. But now it seems that you are destined to fight. Because I fought the world, I need a new champion. I have hidden capsules like this one. If you find and use them, you will be able to increase your powers beyond anything the world has ever known. Step into this capsule and receive an acceleration system to boost your speed. Good luck, X. That is the hologram of Thomas Light, the creator of Mega Man, and of course, Mega Man X. By stepping into this capsule, we get ourselves a brand new power-up that you cannot miss in this stage. The accelerator boots allow us to dash. This, coupled with our jumping abilities, will give us such great distance. Being able to blaze through areas whenever you want is just really handy. And yeah, that's why I recommend going for Chill Penguin first. These ostrich guys are kind of neat, you know? So just ahead, the path is going to branch out a bit. We'll be taking the lower path for now. This is Ride Armor. Now, we're able to ride in these. Our attack power is greatly increased compared to normal, and yeah, we're just being able to duke it out. Some enemies will obviously be in mech suits of their own, but yeah, that is a very nice way to just get through an area very quickly. Right, this section gotta be careful because there are snowballs rolling around. those guys also throw snowballs. Whatever reason, this area kind of reminds me a bit of the early Hoff stages in the Empire Strikes Back video game on the SNES, which, oh boy, that game is definitely harder than this one. But we've already reached the end of this stage. Those metal doors there signify the path to the boss. Look at this guy, doesn't he look cute? Chill Penguin is our first Maverick boss. Typically, these guys are tougher than anything we have seen at this point. Chill Penguin himself really isn't that tough, as long as you know how to maneuver through this area. As to be typical of an ice boss, he of course will shoot chunks of ice at you. He slides around the ground just like a penguin does. Ow. Don't do that, buddy. And basically just want to shoot at him a bunch. It of course creates those little penguin statues, which can be a little annoying to deal with. And just can't be understated just how awesome this boss beam is. It's just great. Yeah, overall, this is a pretty simple boss, but wait, what's to expect? Alright, we already got our second achievement there by busting Chill Penguin. We did take a few hits there, but I think that went pretty well. And now for the other thing that the Mega Man series is most well known for. By beating a boss, we're able to obtain a new weapon from it. In this case, Shotgun Ice. As we're going to see going forward, this is a very good skill, especially for some things later on in our adventure. Now that we dealt with that guy, what stage are we going to go into next? Well, we're going over this way to deal with this guy. Some call me Johnny's favorite Maverick, Storm Eagle. Get ready for awesome music. I love the music in this stage so much. Just so good. I can't get enough of it. So I hear we're going to ride these little pulley platforms here. Just want to be very careful with these guys. And then want to dash jump over this way to get a heart container. There are 8 of these in each of the main 8 stages, and they will increase your max HP by a little bit. You'll definitely want to go after these, because a lot of the challenges later on in the game can really hurt you. Take out those guys, and then we're gonna land here. Airport 1001. Great setting for a battle against a high-flying opponent, isn't it? Alright, now this part we want to ride this pillar up here, shoot that window to get inside. Want to quickly take out that guy before he can attack, and over there we get a very helpful item. If we go into the pause menu here, you can also see that we have the options for switching our weapons. What we just picked up is a sub-tank. It's pretty much the Mega Man X equivalent of the energy tanks that you collect in those games. So instead of providing a free refill of energy whenever you want, sub-tanks have to be filled with energy that you collect from enemies. These whenever your health is already at maximum. But these can be very helpful for the battles going forward, so I definitely recommend collecting as many sub-tanks as you can. There's only 4 sub-tanks in the entire game, in a few of the stages going forward, so I'll definitely make note of all their locations. Before you ask, yes, this is a 100% playthrough of this game. I played this game so many times that, obviously, I just can't get enough of going through it, doing as much of the game as I can, because why not? If you love a game as much as I do, then obviously you have to go for all of it. Now, we're not going to deal with those, but you want to remember something that's similar to that. Just over here. If we make a dash jump over here, you see a few of these danger canisters? Despite the fact that they have fire on them, you can pretty much just shoot them with your regular buster. And here we get a new capsule. This capsule contains an enhancement for your helmet, which will allow you to break some ceilings with a headbutt. Yeah, unlike the capsule in Chill Penguin stage, there are some capsules where you have to go out of your way to find. So, yeah, definitely want to be on the lookout for these because they're very handy. And with that, we get a new power-up for our head, allowing us to break certain blocks. That'll be helpful for something much later on as we advance on this adventure. Oh, that we'll want to pick up very soon. Let's just break that guy, go over here, and that is an extra life. Obviously, when you die, you only are able to recover as many times as you have those lives. Here we have a very classic Mega Man enemy, Mentors. They are completely invulnerable as long as they're covered by their helmet. When they peek out, you're able to blast them. Do it quickly because they do have attacks that they can do to you. And we're just about at the end of this stage. Want to quickly leap over here and... So remember that ship that was dropping those enemies back in the beginning stage? This is actually the ship from that part. This is the Death Rogamer. And want to quickly jump down here onto this wing to grab those health pickups, which are very handy, as we're going into our our second Maverick battle. Hey Stormy, how's it going? Storm Eagle is really not that bad of a boss. This guy will push you back with his wings, but you can just easily dash in order to avoid getting blown off of the ship. He has that dive bomb attack, which can easily be dodged by dashing, and then you can very quickly turn around to shoot at him and get in some good damage. Yeah, this guy's really not that bad. Does have another attack. Alright, that is it. The Storm Tornado. No, it doesn't do damage, but it will push you back harder than his wings can, so definitely watch out for that. And he will also shoot out eggs to launch little birds at you. Definitely want to watch out for that. You can shoot the birds in order to damage them, but we pretty much have this fight in the bag. There we go. It's really not a tough battle, since a lot of his attacks don't do direct damage to you. And with that, the Death Rogamer is sent plummeting down to the ground. That probably won't be involved in anything later. And our prize for beating Storm Eagle is the Storm Tornado. I consider this my favorite weapon in the entire game, as we're going to see very much going forward. It's just a really good weapon. Now that we dealt with him, let's head over this way to take on this next stage. Our next opponent is Flame Mammoth. Yeah, as you can tell, the bosses in this game are all based on animals. While the classic Mega Man games basically have the bosses as just a base around a single theme, in this game, they're both based on a theme and animals. So obviously, Chill Penguin was an ice boss, and he was also a penguin. Storm Eagle is an air boss who is based on an eagle. It's pretty much how things go throughout the Mega Man X series. And here at Flame Mammoth stage, I actually do like the theming of this place. It's kind of like a waste disposal facility. Alright, this part is going to be very interesting. We want to do a dash jump, and we want to try to connect with those blocks up there. This is very precise, and it's going to take me a few tries to pull this off. Yeah, it is very tricky to do this. But you have to be careful with that, and yeah, with that, thanks to our helmet upgrade, we're able to break these blocks and get access to a new capsule. This capsule contains a part which will increase the capabilities of your X-Buster. You can use it to fire all types of weapons. this is definitely an upgrade you'll want to pick up, because this improves our arms. Not just our arms, but our main method of attack, the X-Buster. We're now able to charge our attack even further, or dealing a powerful wave of purple energy. As we'll see here, it just tears through enemies. Now this part we want to stick to the low path here, because we have another heart container. Now this stage is interesting because depending on how the order that you progress with the stages, as Flame Mammoth stage will look completely different. And then if you tackle the stage before going after Chill Penguin, the ground there will instead be molten lava, which will obviously damage you should you touch it. But because we went for Chill Penguin, all of the molten magma is frozen, so we don't have to deal with that. Grab that heart pick up there, and right here, we were able to pick up our second sub-tank, which gives us already a very nice supply of resources. And like that, we have already 100% of this stage. As I said before, each stage has a heart container to pick up, and some of the stages will have the sub-tanks that you'll want to collect. And thanks to the ability capsule we obtained, we have everything we need here. So, nothing left to do but progress onward and face the boss. And as we're going through this stage, there's an interesting thing I want to talk about that's not really related to this game, but it's just something that's really fun to me. And that, so obviously I'm a big fan of Pokemon, and sometimes when I'm training my team, I like to put on music from a different game just to have in the background while I am focusing on other tasks. And one time I was just training up my team in Pokemon Black 2, and I was just listening to music from this game, specifically the Flame Mammoth stage music. And while that was happening, I managed to run into a shiny Pitless Swine and actually managed to catch it. So yeah, that was cool. Also, very nice, you can freely switch between your various weapons without needing to actually go into the menu, which is a very nice upgrade from the classic Mega Man games. With that said, we're going to equip the Storm Tornado and go after Flame Mammoth. This guy's a chunky boy. Definitely want to be careful, because if you're on the ground when he does that jump, you will be temporarily stunned, so definitely be careful of that. So let's go into the weapons here. The Storm Tornado is Flame Mammoth's weakness. This weapon tears through him. Every boss in this game has a weakness to a specific weapon, and by exploiting those weaknesses, you can do so much damage to these guys. Some weapons won't actually do improved damage to them, but can also affect them in a variety of ways, and Flame Mammoth is one of those enemies where you can affect them in a specific way. But yeah, that fight was really no trouble. Even with the conveyor belts moving us, he's a big target. The Storm Tornado is just a tremendously amazing weapon. We were able to beat him no problem. And for beating him, we get the Fire Wave. Like the Storm Tornado, this weapon eats through enemy health really quickly. But its short range kind of makes it a little awkward to use. Now that we dealt with him, let's head over to this stage. Launch Octopus. Not related to Decoy Octopus, but Metal Gear Solid. More awesome music here. Also, water level, which you usually associate water levels with bad areas, but no, this is a water area that I very much like. Start off with kind of a little beach setting here. Got some alright enemies to deal with. Those big turtle enemies have a lot of health, but as we're going to see going forward, they're really not that much of a problem. They got these little seahorse enemies that are too bad to deal with. Also, definitely want to watch out here. Those spikes will instant kill you. There are definitely a lot of hazards like that you want to watch out for. And I think I want to switch. Yeah, let's go for Storm Tornado here to damage this guy. Got ourselves a little mini-boss here. It's really not too bad, at least during this fight. He has a variety of attacks he can do based on the parts of him that are active. He'll try to suck you in, shoot those eel guys at you. It also has a beam if you don't manage to destroy the little angler light thing on it. So these guys will suck you in if you get close to them, so definitely watch out. Yeah, let's just blaze for these guys. Really not too bad. Yeah. Alright, we'll definitely want to equip this again, because we have to fight this guy again. Oh. And yep, instant death. That is a pain. Definitely what I don't like about this specific mid-boss. He can blindside you like that. Luckily, we respawn immediately at this fight. But yeah, this guy is just kind of awkward to deal with. Do not do that, please. I do not appreciate the suction. I mean, sometimes I do, but not now. No. That was awkward. For a variety of reasons. But don't worry, we still have ammunition. So typically the weapons you get from the various mavericks you defeat, they do use ammunition, so you want to be careful to make sure that you have enough. And pick up the blue ammunition drops that you get from enemies in order to refill whatever energy you have. Okay, this guy's really frustrating me right now. The stage typically isn't that hard, but man, this part with this mid-boss is just so annoying. I would just want to go for my regular buster here. This guy's really a pain. Yeah, we're all out of ammunition there, so let's just... This guy like this. Careful. Yeah. Alright, we took out his light. It's good. Let's grab this health. Stop sucking. I do not appreciate your suction. There we go. We finally took this guy out. It only took me like 3 lives. Alright, want to have fire equipped right now. Stand on these points. They shoot up these pillars of water that allow you to climb up here onto this rigging. Let's grab the bit of health there, which will be good for filling up our tanks. And I think this one specifically we want to go up now. No, it's the next one ahead. Yeah, this one? Ow. Alright, that ship up there is going to be very important. Want to ride the current up, then jump onto this ship, and just wail on it with your fire wave, and you can just take it down really easily. And when you break down this ship, it will take the ground down with it, allowing you to access this secret cavern down here. Now, what's waiting for us down here? A giant sea monster. We got ourselves another mid-boss here. Yeah, the stage definitely has a lot of battles to it, but this guy really isn't that bad. If you stand behind it at the right angle, you can just unload all your ammunition into its head really quick. Also, be careful about this stage because there are spikes here. But as a little trick, if you notice the pillars in the background, they lead into the ground and not into the spikes. So just easily follow the pillars and you can get back up very easily. But yeah, this guy really isn't too much trouble. He does have a lot of health, but... And obviously, as you can expect, the fire wave really isn't that useful here. Oh, it's a shame that fell down there. That's really awful. We want to go over here because that is where we get our heart container pickup. Yay! Speaking of heart containers, I have been revisiting The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Mainly because I wanted to play all of the 3D Zelda games again this year, and that's definitely a good one to go into. Alright, this part, guess what we have to do now? So we have to fight the same boss again. Only this time with no spikes. Although, he will bury into the ground, which is a little annoying. So yeah, we just want to wait for him to rise up, and then we can deal with him. There you are. Come on, buddy. Get down here. Every time this right, we can just jump onto his back and unload. His weak point is obviously the head and his tail. But just like that, we can do a lot of damage to him. This guy's really not too bad, as long as you know the correct trick to them. Also, just a cool idea for a fight, just getting able to actually ride the boss and shoot its weak point. Very good idea that you don't really see used in a whole lot of games. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Ocarina of Time 3D again, because that game is good. And definitely want to play a lot more of the Zelda games very soon. Alright, you guys just not do this to me. Just want to take these guys out right now to see if we can get any health pickups, and no. We do have one life. We're a little low on health right now, so let's use our sub-tank there just to refill. So I don't actually have the weakness of this boss here, but I think we're still going to have a pretty good time against this guy. I'm in the mood for some takoyaki, and you look like you can provide me some. Launch Octopus is all about projectile attacks. He will shoot those missiles at you, and will also shoot these little fish guys to try and fight you. Luckily, your blaster is able to deal with most of his projectile attacks, so yeah, just unload on him and you are pretty good. He also has this whirlpool attack. Don't get sucked into it, because he can do a lot of damage to you. There's also another aspect of this guy that is pretty cool, but sadly we don't have the correct weapon to actually get to show this off. Maybe later on we'll be able to actually demonstrate this. Let's go for a charge attack there. Very good. Actually really wish that I wasn't taking as much damage as I am right now, but it's just kind of how things go in this game. He's pretty low on health right now, which is good. Kind of got him into a good pattern. One more hit should do it. There we go. So long, Launch Octopus. So yeah, not that bad of a fight, even though we did take quite a bit of damage there. And like that, we have gotten everything we can from this stage, and get the Horming Torpedo. Well, that's obviously a typo. So this weapon here, as we're going to demonstrate very soon, is really, really good. But before we go into that, we have a new stage to go into. And I feel it's time to really get into some of the really good music in this game. Boomer Kawanga. Oh, the opening to this song is just godlike. I love it. This part's a little awkward. Want to jump to avoid that guy. But yeah, those little turrets will slide around the ground, just kind of be a bit annoying. This part is kind of interesting. You want to avoid touching the lasers there, or else those guys will shoot at you. I really don't care, though, because we can just rush through that. And looky here, we got ourselves these guys. Yeah, look at that. Storm Tornado just completely decimates them. And also, you can use the Fire Wave on them, too, to just really take them out. So yeah, definitely use these powers. They are very good for dealing with threats. And now here we got a little elevator sequence. I'm actually gonna equip the homing torpedo here. If we fire it and there's an enemy on screen, the torpedo will actually track the location of the enemy. And that is really good. So overall, this is definitely a very solid weapon. And I actually haven't shown it off at this point, but even our weapons here can be charged. But this is only if you manage to acquire the arm upgrade. In that case, we're able to fire a bunch of those little fish guys that just decimate those enemies. Yeah, this is a very good weapon to have, especially in this area. And we're just scaling the tower now. For some reason, I'm getting more of those SNES Star Wars game flashbacks here. Don't really know why. Alright, this part. So take out those guys, and we are almost done here. So now they're at the top here. We want to switch to our shotgun ice. Because as you can see there's a heart container there, but it's in kind of an awkward location. Shoot this guy so he's not in our way. So what I want to do is go to the shotgun ice and charge it up to max to create a little ice platform in the shape of the boss we got it from. And from that, we're able to ride it like a toboggan in order to grab another heart container. Yeah, just like that, we are already almost done with this stage. And yeah, what else can I say? Just great presentation here, very nice set pieces, and excellent music. Boomerkawanger, you definitely have a great stage. As we're going to see very soon, the boss here is also definitely something to praise. Let's go here. That guy. Alright, let's fire a homing torpedo to take out this guy. And you'll definitely want to save your torpedoes here because it'll be very important going ahead. And those turrets that kind of move away from your shots are a little awkward to deal with. Alright, that guy wasn't too bad. And we're already at the boss fight. Go to your homing torpedo, and we are good. Yeah, that'd definitely be a good name for a Heracross. Although, given his inspiration, wouldn't Pinsir be a more fitting name? Boomerkawanger here, much like the stag beetle that he gets his name from, will attack with his horns, which can throw like boomerangs. He's also blindingly fast. Very hard to get a hit on him with weapons other than the homing torpedo, which also does more damage to him. Yeah, this guy is really tough to fight if you go at him with just the regular buster, which I'll probably show off later on. But if you manage to pick up the homing missiles, he goes down very quickly. What I also like about this boss is that, in terms of design and playstyle, he kind of plays like a mix between Cutman from Mega Man 1 and Quickman from Mega Man 2. I felt like that's just a very cool idea. Gonna save our progress there as we move on to our next stage. So next up, we're going to the jungle. Because our next opponent here is Sting Chameleon. Doesn't he look pleasant? As you can tell, I really like the design of the bosses in this game. Like, all the Mavericks, they just have such great iconic designs. As we go later on in the series, I do feel like some of the Maverick designs are kind of not as good as just the ones from this game, and it's kind of how I feel about a lot of things. Mega Man X is just a flawless first entry for the series. Just everything about it works, from the gameplay to the character designs and the boss fights. And down here, it's not a pit, but it's actually a little cave section. And this part's going to be a bit awkward. Hopefully we can do this. Okay, yeah, this part is a little bit awkward to do. Now, you can't actually do this part normally unless you have beaten Launch Octopus first. Alright, that section down there will not be flooded until you do Launch Octopus. Which again just shows another great aspect of just being able to play these games whatever you want, because a lot of stages are affected by things that you do in other stages. Definitely adds to the replayability of this adventure. By doing a dash jump there, we're able to acquire our next heart container. Now, this section ahead, what we want to do next is do a dash jump up here and get ourselves an optional encounter. I'm equipping the fire wave here because it'll be very effective against this guy. We got ourselves another mid-boss. This guy really isn't too bad. He just has a lot of health and has a lot of reach with that claw of his. Definitely want to watch out for that. He will also jump around, but he doesn't seem to be doing that right now, which is thankfully good for me. That he will sometimes jump to kind of close the distance between you. His weak point, obviously, is his head, so just want to be careful there. Alright, we're all out of that. So let's go for our other very good damaging weapon. And if you're wondering why I'm not using the boomerang cutter right now, it'll be useful for something later on, trust me. Might as well go for charge shots. Why not? Just a little awkward because of how small his weak point is, but yeah, it is still doable with the charge shots. As you can see there, he's smoking right now. That's a good indicator of the amount of damage you have dealt to this guy. He is pretty low on health right now. Come on, buddy. Just need you to die. Also, interesting tidbit about this guy is that in terms of design, he's very similar in appearance to Otto from the classic games. Just kind of something. Just hang on a second. Alright. Yeah, it looks like it's all good now. This capsule contains a new type of body armor. It will reduce damage to your systems by 50%. And now we have our fourth and final capsule. Thanks, Dr. Light. With this, we get power armor. And with that, we are looking really good right now. Now fully powered up and ready to kick some Maverick butt. Obviously, I do like the simple and sleek design of Mega Man X. I think it's a great design, but come on, this look here is really cool. The way he's all silvery with those gold accents, it's a good design. Zachary, this is not the place to be discussing that. Yeah, these guys are interesting. Got these little rock robots here. Really not too bad. And woodpeckers! Kind of remind me of those woodpecker enemies back in Crest Gardens. Kind of going back to Sonic here. Which obviously, you get those little comparisons between these two characters. They're both very blue. Just very genre-defining platformer mascots. Right over here, we get some more ride armor, which will be very useful going forward, because there's a lot of enemies here, especially these guys. Let's jump up here, get that added health, and just want to be very careful to, buddy, I mean, there we go. It's how to get the guy out of the mud. Yeah, we are just about done this stage. Just got one more soup battle to deal with. Oh, he actually managed to wipe out the HP of our right armor. So let's just kind of avoid you. Goodbye, sir. And let's equip the boomerang cutter, because it'll be very important here. Hello, chameleon. Got a nice tongue there. Look at this fight. If you don't take this guy out with his weakness, he can be a legitimately difficult battle. But with his weakness, goes down like a bitch. Man, the thing is, like in some early playthroughs of this game I've done, I've actually taken on Sting Chameleon without his weakness, just because I want to go for the armor as soon as I could. And yeah, definitely makes that fight a lot harder when you're not using that weakness there. But with that taken care of, time to move on to our next stage. Our 7th opponent here is Spark Mandrill. And right off the bat, we got another stage that is affected by our previous progress. So this stage would normally be filled with a lot of electric hazards that would just make this area very tricky to deal with. But because we took care of Storm Eagle earlier, his ship actually crashed into this level and has drastically affected this area in a lot of negative ways. So right there, we want to use our boomerang cutter to grab that sub-tank, and then we are just able to progress on. Yeah, I understand that you can go in these stages whatever order you want, but I have what I consider my optimum route, which I'm showing off here. Definitely helps you place for the game at a very good pace. And also because we took out Storm Eagle, not only are some of the hazards of this place taken out, but also the lighting in this area has been drastically affected. Also, man, just this song is so rockin', like, what a great track. And right here, we got ourselves another boss. Now, this thing would normally be really tough if you don't take out Storm Eagle before this guy. But as he is now, he is just kind of alright. Highly recommend using the Storm Tornado, as it does so much damage to him. He will shoot those slime balls in order to just kind of stick you to the floor. He does jump around a lot. But yeah, he gets taken out pretty easily. If you don't take out Storm Eagle before going here, he does have a lot of deadly electric attacks that can really mess you up. Alright, just... yeah, let's use Fire Wave here. Just really good for taking out these guys. Take out this turtle, and I know this part's a little awkward. Alright, did that very easily. You can grab that art container just with a well-timed jump. Otherwise, you could also use the boomerang cutter for it, but I really didn't need to. Alright, guy, can you go over there? Alright, and Fire Wave you. Fire Wave you. And we are getting pretty close to the end here. Again, this is another stage that is very easy to 100% once you manage to clear some of the other stages. So I usually save this area for some of my later stages I go through. Ooh, got another health pickup there. That's good. And we are going to get into quite an interesting fight here. Equip shotgun ice before this battle. Hey, buddy. That's a cool intro. And, unfortunately, it's all the noteworthy things we're going to see from Mandrill here. His attacks have a huge wind-up, and the shotgun ice totally dominates him. I had a little problem with his invincibility frames there, but still took him out relatively quickly. Yeah, really not too much trouble. Like Chameleon, he can be a bit tricky if you don't have his weakness, but not too bad, all things considered. Another fun fact about Spark Mandrill, back in the old Mega Man cartoon from so many years ago, they actually had a crossover episode with Mega Man X, and in that episode, Spark Mandrill was actually the maverick that accompanied Vile. Well, to the past. So, yeah, just kind of interesting. And now, time to move on to one of my favorite stages. Armored Armadillo! Prepare for the awesomeness. This stage, I will say, right off the bat, one of the best places if you're grinding up energy for your sub-tanks. By beating the bad enemies here, there is a lot of them, and they can drop a lot of good energy. But besides of those, there's also this guy, who you'll definitely want to take out, because, as we're going to see very soon if we go back here, yeah, that's actually an enemy from the classic Mega Man games, and it's the only one of its kind in the whole of Mega Man X. But you'll definitely want to take him out, because he has a very high chance of dropping extra lives. So yeah, just in this part here, you're easily able to fill up your sub-tanks. You're able to get extra lives very easily. Definitely a good place to stock up before the fight's ahead. Yep, stash up here just to get all these enemies. Look at this! That's good. Give me all your energy. Yeah. I'm going to demonstrate this more as we go forward, but yeah, that is a very good place to get energy, get extra lives, just... And of course, we are complemented by the oh-so-magnificent Armored Armadillo stage theme as we're doing this. But yeah, onto the stage itself, we got kind of a coal mine aesthetic here, and definitely doesn't stop with just appearances, as we can see going forward. Alright, very quickly at this point, I want to have Fire Wave equipped. So I want to get behind this guy, use your Fire Wave to just sap away his health as quickly as you can. Buddy. Ooh, that was close. Up here, we are able to access some very convenient health pickups. I think that gets us... Alright, we're already on our third sub-tank refill. It's very good. Did I miss something back there? Oh, come to think of it, I think I did. Hang on. So back where we took out that drill bot, yep, that is our last sub-tank. all 4 sub-tanks, we are looking pretty good for the battles ahead. And trust me, you want to have all the sub-tanks. They make things much easier and less hectic going forward. Nice energy for that. And Meteors here can be a little tricky because of their being shielded from damage. Like that where the wheel enemy just falls and dies. That's good. And Matar, get up, buddy. Ow. Want to be careful here. Of course, I could be using one of my other weapons to, like, really get through easily, but look at this. We can ride this little cart here to get through this area very quickly. Again, I love this stage. It has great sense to it. Before go down, have Fire Wave equipped, and want to take this guy out as fast as you can. Wow, that was fast. Because we can go over here, we can see that this is where our heart tank is. So if you don't take out this guy before he gets to this point, you'll actually break pieces of the wall so you can't get up there. Thankfully, we're able to get past that, and we are actually almost done this stage. There's something else I'd like to go over about Armored Armadillo stage, but that will be until a little bit later. But trust me, it'll definitely be worth our time. So now, let's just appreciate this very cinematic finish to this area. God, I love that. Yeah, I definitely prefer the Fire Wave strategy. It's very good for taking out his health. And now it's on to definitely a cool battle. Depending on the way you go at this guy. If you use a Sparkman's weapon on him, Spark Mandrill, you're able to electrocute him and break off his armor, leaving him vulnerable. You'll shoot out projectiles from his head, which can do a lot of damage, and he also has his rolling attack, which you want to worry about. When he doesn't have his armor, you can actually hit him while he's doing his roll. And that is a very good way to deal with that. Another thing I like to say about this guy, if you're going Buster only, be careful with charge shots, because he can actually absorb your charge attacks and then shoot out a powerful blast back at you. But yeah, thanks to Spark Mandrill, we're able to take care of him very easily. And we get the Rolling Shield. A pretty wide attack that rolls along the ground. Can be a bit helpful, but it does have much more useful applications, as we'll see going forward. Also, the Rolling Shield is Launch Octopus's weakness. Finally, we found Sigma's fortress. Let's go in and put an end to his war against the humans. Boy, isn't that a friendly face. Before we go against this guy, there's one thing I want to do. Well, two things I want to do, but first, we want to head back into Chill Penguin. Because, as I said before, there is one heart container in every stage. However, we have not picked up the heart container from Chill Penguin. As we'll see going forward, that's because we actually could not access it before this point. Oh yeah, that is true. I just don't know what I'm doing in terms of my weapons right now. Yeah. Just go with Fire Wave here. It's good for dealing damage. Ow. Now I'm taking hits right now, but I can kind of afford it given the amount of defense I have right now. And also, I have plenty of sub-tanks. But yeah, definitely want to have the Fire Wave for this point. Because not only is the Fire Wave the weakness of Chill Penguin, and you'll definitely... I mean, it wasn't that bad. We're able to take care of Penguin pretty easily without it. Seriously, we're back at the beginning of this stage. Twister. Yeah, just look at it. Decimates large groups of enemies very easily. That's why I love this weapon so much. And depending on how you're dashing, you can take out enemies even from multiple screens, which is good. And as we'll see going forward, the charge attack for the tornado is also really good. Here. At least we're getting some good energy. A lot of guys there. Yeah, just look at the way the storm tornado just tears through enemies. It's so good. Alright, this part, we actually want to ditch our ride armor. Actually, I think we weren't supposed to do that. Hang on. Luckily, we can recover it here. At this point, want to jump with it, then abandon it, and let's go to Fire Wave. Break that, and that is where you get the final heart tank. And even got an achievement from that, which is nice. Go in our menu here, we can hit escape in order to automatically get out of the stage. Very nice. Now, we could go take care of this next threat here, but there is one last thing that we need to get. Now that we have all the sub-tanks and have all the heart containers, and it being all 8 bosses, there's something new that we can get here if we go back to Armored Armadillo. Wow. I was not expecting that. Just really tremendous luck there. Alright, but before we do this, I want to make sure that I have a lot of lives. Yeah, we might actually want to max out our life count. That could be really helpful for what we're doing here. Come on, buddy. So need those lives. Really? Couldn't spare a cup of life for me? I say that, and there's literally an item in Earthbound. Oh, that's called the Cup of Life Noodles. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this is actually pretty obscure if you... It's really something that you have no idea how to do unless you haven't done. Which, thankfully, because of the internet, you have easy access to. Like that, I actually managed to fill up my sub-tank, so we're all good for the fights ahead. Alright, I think that should actually be enough lives for us. We have 7, that'll be good enough. So what we want to do now is we want to just get through the rest of this stage. Should go ahead and just change up my weapon selection here. Since we really don't need anything else right now. Just get past you, jump ahead of you. Let's grab some health, even though it's really not needed for what's ahead. Yeah, we just left that guy back there. There's like nothing he can do to us. Really shows how great the maneuverability of X is compared to the original Mega Man. Because, yeah, Rock could not do any of the feats we're able to do here. Dr. Light wasn't kidding. I mean, X here really is the ultimate creation of his. Alright, we're not too bad about this part. I can use Storm Tornado against this guy. I tend to prefer the Fire Wave, but it's really not too bad. There we go, took him out pretty easily. Not a pickup for me? Nope. Yeah, like to go a bit more into the charge attacks from the various moves we have, but this part is interesting. So I hope you have plenty of lives for this, because we want to jump across here, and basically, at this point, we have to die. Okay, buddy, die quickly. Yeah, no joke. Death is actually necessary at this point. Alright, birdies, if you could just leave me alone. Jump up there. It's a little bit of health there. Very nice. This little area that's really has nothing to it. Well, might as well kill myself. Also, that's a very pretty background back there. Really haven't complimented it enough, but the sprite work in this game is really good. It's a very good-looking SNES game. And another thing about this game I should mention, the Legacy Collection version of this game has a filter that can smooth out the visuals so it's less pixelated, but I mean, come on, I don't think that art style is very good at all. Like, this is a tremendously put together game in terms of its art style. It does not need those stupid filters. But yeah, much prefer playing this game in the original pixel resolution. It's just such a great visual style. Nothing else I can really say more about it. Alright, buddy. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because you have to go through a little bit of the level just to get back to this point. It's not too bad. Yeah, I guess we can use our homing torpedo against these guys. Taking out the birds can be really important. Okay. I believe we've done this at least 4 times now. Like, I don't know specifically if you have to grab that little energy pickup for this. But this really isn't that bad, as long as you have enough lives for it. Oh yeah, the chameleon sting's also good for that. So this weapon is pretty much a spread shot, but it does have other applications. Oh, yeah. So after doing this like 4 times, on the 5th try you do this, I give you a special present. Now, enter the capsule, please. I just love Dr. Light's sprite where he's dressed as Ryu. That is so good. So by entering this capsule, we get ourselves the ultimate weapon. The Hadouken. This weapon will one-hit kill anything. And if you're playing a certain remake of this game, you can even one-shot the final boss with it, which is very impressive. But yeah, you can only perform this move if you have full health. And as you can see here, we have a lot. So now that we have everything we need, it's time to take on the Sigma stages. This is pretty much the equivalent of the Dr. Wily stages from the original series. Let's split up. I'll go in first, and then you can slip in while I keep the main defense force busy. Sure thing, Zero. So yeah, we sequentially have to go through a few stages in order to ultimately reach the end of our adventure. There are 4 stages in total, each one with a different variety of threats to us. So right now we got a pretty alright sequence of us dealing with these guys, and this is where things are going to get interesting. We want to have homing torpedo for this. guys, and just careful with your jumps. Yeah, with careful shots of the homing torpedo, you're able to deal with these guys before they can even appear on screen. Oh yeah, I love Sigma Stage 1 in this game. It is a tremendous beam that really sets the tone for this area. Also, God, that sunset background there, it's so good. Just the twilight really sets the tone for this part of the story. Really haven't talked about it too much, but this game has a kind of simple story, but still a very effective one. Especially compared to, like, later games in the series. It's simple, but in the best way possible. I think they're able to get across their points for it very well. And of course, this was the first game of the new series, so they have to keep things simple in order to really suck the new players in, while also keeping the attention of older fans. And I feel they do a pretty good job. So a detail we haven't gone over yet in terms of the story and its characters is the main villain of this game, Sigma. So I said earlier that X and Zero are part of an organization called the Maverick Hunters. So as it turns out, Sigma was once a Maverick Hunter, but after a battle against a certain character who, I'm not going to say who, Sigma ended up obtaining what is called the Maverick virus, which is what caused a lot of Reploids to become Mavericks. And basically, he now hates humans and is trying to destroy the world and create a perfect world for only Reploids. So yeah, we gotta take him out. Otherwise, humanity will be destroyed. Yeah, for a story for the first installment in this series, it does its job very well. And yeah, it's not too needlessly complicated. There's not a whole lot of characters in this adventure. I mean, we got to know mainly X, Zero, and Vile as characters right now, and haven't even encountered Sigma in person. Oh, hey, Vile, I was just mentioning you earlier. Stay back, X. I'll take him on. Good work, Zero. I have full faith in your abilities. Oh, I love that. How you can actually hear traces of their battle. Just, oh, it's so good. Alright, buddy, have you managed to scrap Vile yet? Oh, come on! X, do what I tell you or he's history. Don't listen to him, X! Go ahead and blast him! Dream on, Zero. X knows he can't defeat me. My armor carrier is more than a match for his ancient weapons. So we got a rematch with Vile. Not gonna mince words. This is another battle that we cannot win. Just shoot him at all you want. It's not gonna do anything. Once again, we get paralyzed. Maybe, but I'm not through yet. What a worthless gesture. I can't be defeated so easily. So, X, it's just you and me now. Health upgrade! What the? Where did that energy come from? It really doesn't matter how much energy you absorb, X. You are still far too weak. Prepare to be terminated! Ow, it's a shame I got damaged there, because I really want to show off Hadouken killing this guy in one hit. Vile is quite the opponent. His weakness is the homing torpedo, so definitely use it here. He, of course, will fire shots both from the ground and from the air. He can paralyze paralyze you and can just be a pain. Wow, we killed him off screen. Take that, Vile. You're not even worth our time. And we never have to deal with him again. No siree. X, I've taken too much damage. I can see that, Zero. You're half the Reploid you used to be. Literally. Auto repair systems can't handle it. My power's fading fast. Your power's greater than I thought. Maybe you could destroy Sigma. Farewell, Zero. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. What weapon do I want to use here? I got these kind of springs here, which is weird. We're not playing a Mega Man 7, so why are we dealing with springs? Nah, but it's fine. Okay, this part. So I want to use the charge effect of the Chameleon Sting here, because we go all trippy and rainbowy, and we're able to completely avoid damage from enemies. Much like a chameleon, this weapon is good for both offense and defense. Okay, can we actually get this charged again so we can get through this? Oh yeah, really love Zero as a character. His selfless nature definitely helps him stand out as a great character. Oh, hi, Boomerkawanger. Yep. We actually have to fight all the Maverick bosses again. And this time, for this run, I want to show off the Buster-only versions of the bosses that we just totally destroyed with their weaknesses. Just to kind of show off what these fights are like if you are not going for the weaknesses. As you can see here, Boomerkawanger, he's very fast. He'll teleport around, just has very tricky movements to deal with. Not really opens himself up to too much damage, but if you're skilled enough with the wall jump, you can easily evade him and get in some good hits in between his moments of attack. Come on, buddy. Almost got you. One more solid hit should do it. There we go. Oh yeah, that is a cool thing. Also, welcome to the stream, Robert. I'll be enjoying things here because I'm definitely enjoying playing through one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, it's very cool getting to see Boomerkawanger again, even very briefly. It becomes a recurring trend in this series to face off against the bosses that you have previously fought before in the Sigma stages. Well, I really shouldn't be saying that, but do know that things will be much different going forward. Oh yeah, sorry for not noticing anything about that. For this part, I believe you want to be using... Yeah, this is an interesting fight. I want to have the shotgun ice here, as we're facing off against Boss Fighter. So this thing has an interesting attack method. It will climb down the poles here, and stopping whenever it changes its course whenever it gets to one of the vertical lines, and you just want to be careful and hit its core whenever it is exposed. Not too worried about this because I do have my sub-tank, so if we can get there, it's very nice. Just want to be very careful in picking your locations. As it loses health, it will start moving faster, so definitely be careful with that. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting fight. Oh, this one's easy. Nice try, buddy. I don't know if anyone's ever had a thing where it just didn't have any of the connecting bits there, but alright, took it out. Yeah, boss fighter is definitely interesting. But hey, I can't argue with spider bosses because that's totally my thing. We'll save a game there and move on to the next battle. Now that we've taken on Sigma Stage 1, we can proceed immediately to Stage 2. Once you clear a stage, you cannot revisit the previous Sigma stage, so just keep that in mind. But now into this area, man, I love this track. I think I want to have homing torpedo in this area. Yeah, Sigma Stage 2 is just such a good time. Not only with the actual layout of the stage, but god damn, I love this music. Actually very fitting that I'm using the fire weapon right now, because that'll be very helpful for a fight ahead. Oh yeah, that does get annoying. But we have a rematch against Chill Penguin. Because we didn't fight him with his weakness last time, let's actually show off what it's like going at him with the fire wave. I just really love that animation of him getting emulated. That is just such a great animation. And see there, it really takes out these statues very easily. And yeah, definitely chips away his health a lot faster than with the Buster. Alright, buddy. Enough of that. Much like Danny DeVito playing the Penguin, you are down. Oh, nice try, buddy. By killing that guy, we can actually use the armor that he would have ridden in, which is just a really fun idea. I like the concept of stealing one of the enemy's benefits in order to use yourself. It's such a great idea. Let's just tear you apart. And sadly, we won't get to use this one going forward. No, this part has kind of I choose which path to take. So I want to use homing torpedo to take the guy out safely. And that one too. And let's see here. Ow. I'm taking a lot of hits here that I really wish I wasn't, but it's alright. It's a shame that guy dropped some health that I cannot access. Hello, Storm Eagle. Let's go at you with your weapon since we didn't get to show that off. As you can see there, he is weak to the Chameleon Sting. It does a lot of damage to him. And thanks to its spread shot qualities, it can hit him very easily even when he's in the air. So yeah, this is a great weapon for taking him out. Woo! Definitely wouldn't recommend going after a Storm Eagle before... I wouldn't recommend going after this guy after dealing with Sting Chameleon, because between the two fights, Storm Eagle's definitely the easier. This guy, let's kind of cheese this guy with the homing torpedoes. I think we can just jump over him, and we should be close to the end of the stage. Yep. Alright, so the next one, I think we might actually want to keep using the Chameleon Sting here. Because our next fight is against the Wall. This is Rangda Bangda. Believe it or not, this is somewhat of a recurring boss in the series, but yeah, it's interesting. We're fighting the Wall. Its weak points are its eyes and its nose, so definitely watch out for both of them. So if the eyes are blue, they will move at you. If they're green, they'll fire one projectile, and I think when the eyes are red, they shoot 2 projectiles at you. And the nose, of course, just bounces around the stage. I actually recommend saving the nose for last. Oh yeah, the red one shoots projectiles, and it also moves around. Yep, this is why I recommend going for the nose last. Alright, so gotta take out this guy again. We do have quite a bit of ammo for this. A lot less than I would like, but we should still be... Oh, come on, buddy. This guy really isn't too hard as long as you know the gimmick. Let's get in a nice shot there. Alright, like that, we've already taken out one of the eyes. Let's move over here now. Shoot Mr. Red. Man, get this guy some eye drops, cause definitely seeing red. And now we're going to just totally destroy his sinuses by taking out the nose. This guy wouldn't look out of place in Spark Manual stage, because they're both monkey looking. But yeah, that is how you take him out. Definitely go for the Chameleon Sting against this guy. I want to save there, come on. There we go. And now it's time to move on to Sigma Stage 3. This is an interesting stage. For one, music here is definitely a bit more imposing than the previous stages. Got a good supply of lives, and our ammunition is good. Just thinking of what I want for these guys. Yeah, let's just move on. And like I said before, I want to show off the Buster versions of the fights against these guys that I haven't been shown off. As you can see here, Armadillo is interesting if you go at him without his weakness. You will block attacks with his arms and just kind of have to wait for an opportunity where he's not attacking, which can be a pain. He fires attacks very quickly, so yeah, this is... And as I said before, be careful about charge attacks against this guy, because they can really not be effective. Okay, I pretty much just shown off this guy here, so let's make this easier on us. Okay, that was expected. Yeah, going at him without his weakness is really tough. I remember the first time I played this game, he was really tough for me to beat because of that. But if you look at us here, we're currently at full health. Yes, buddy, show me what you got. Ah, he blocked my Hadouken. That is a shame. Alright, let's get that Spark Shot equipped. He can't actually block the Spark Shot, which is interesting. Alright. Thank you, Armadillo, for that rematch. It was definitely something. Hey, you managed managed to beat me once, so that's a thing. Moving ahead, as you can expect, the main thing about this stage is that there's going to be a lot of rematches against the previous Maverick bosses. So we already fought Boomer Kawanger, Storm Eagle, and a Chill Penguin in the previous stages. But here, we have all the rest of the guys. Hello there, Sting. Alright, you're going to be an interesting fight to show off here. Because without the regular strategy, he can be really tough. He will cloak himself with his chameleon powers and will fling shots at you with his tail. There's also another thing he can do which can be pretty annoying. Yeah, when he's cloaked, obviously he won't be able to do damage to him. Yeah, he will also lash at you with his tongue, which can be annoying. Yeah, it's definitely possible, but really difficult to nail him with a Hadouken. Alright, and then we got this part where he clings to the ceiling and just shakes it, losing a bunch of horns at you. Be careful there. But yeah, hard to believe I would sometimes go at this fight without getting his weakness, because, yeah, this guy is real tough if you go at him early. What you doing there, buddy? He's heading up to this side. Get a good hit on him there. Come on, Stingy. For reasons I can't really explain, I sometimes imagine this guy with Metal Face's voice from Xenoblade. I don't know, it just kind of fits his slimy, mean-looking appearance. Come on, buddy. Either that or Randall from Monsters, Inc. for obvious reasons. They're both kind of chameleon characters. Oh yeah, this guy is definitely tough if you're going no damage. Thankfully, I'm not challenging myself that much. Yeah, this is a lot better than dealing with Armored Armadillo without his weakness. Alright, just one more hit will do it. Come on, buddy. Expose yourself. And there we go. And I actually got an achievement for nailing him with the fully charged attack as the killing blow. That's great. So one thing if I'd actually get that achievement here. And see here, we got this segment here with these guys. Want to just nail you with that. And then we can grab these with our boomerang cutter. And move on to the next stage. Alright, our opponent here is gonna be Sparky. Hey there, Mandrill. Sorry about freezing you last time. So, Spark Mandrill is normal battle. He will actually climb on the ceiling as you would expect from an ape. He has that punch attack, which can be a little tricky to deal with. And he will punch the ground, releasing the Spark Shot attack. Really, I don't feel like this guy is too bad to deal with. Some of his attacks can be really fast, but yeah, I don't think he's that bad. Thankfully, I do have my sub-tanks if things go bad. There we go, nailed him right in the face. As I demonstrated before, this guy's really easy to take out if you use the shotgun ice. And for next battle, we're going underwater. Guess which Maverick we're going up against this time. Get in there, buddy. So I do like how it's Mega Man tradition that being underwater makes you jump higher. I don't understand the logic, but it's cool. And next opponent here, because we hadn't used his weakness previously, want to use the rolling shield against Launch Octopus. There's another weapon we can actually use against this guy that's pretty interesting, and we'll demonstrate this as the fight progresses. As you can see there, Rolling Shield is good for not only dealing with projectiles, but it also bounces along the walls. So you got an attack that's great for both offense and defense here. Alright, now that we're a little bit into this fight, let's show this off. If we use the Boomerang Cutter, come on buddy, let's show this off. You can cut his tentacles off. Doing this prevents him from using his Whirlpool attack, so he'll only shoot projectiles at you, making this fight significantly easier. That's really cool, isn't it? And he's not the only boss that has an added effect like that, as we'll see very soon. Because process of elimination, there's only one last guy to deal with. But I think for this part, let's go to Chameleon Sting. And we can get over here grabbing all these health pickups and avoid most of the hazards there. As we move on to good old Flame Mammoth. Yeah, I do love the typo on the homing torpedoes. Alright, so this guy will be interesting doing legit. It's really not too bad. He does have that tar attack with his trunk. Any tar he has on the ground, if he uses fire attack, it shoots up into a big column of fire, so definitely watch out for that. He also has his usual fire attack there. It's really not... He doesn't really show off the abilities of the fire wave too much here. But he's a big target. He jumps around. It's really not too bad. Come on, buddy. Almost got this guy down. There we go. Huh, we mutually hit each other. But yeah, really not that bad of a fight. Don't let his big size fool you. He is kind of a joke, even without his weapon weakness. And now we move on to the real battle here. Meet D-Rex. This guy can be a pain. You want to hit the top segment of this guy, which can be a little tricky because his weakness is the Boomerang Cutter, and it behaves in an interesting way depending on where you land it and the hits. I just want to quickly use that there, and should be good for the rest of this. Yeah, he'll clamp down on you if you get in between his segments, so definitely be careful of that. And as his health gets lower, he moves faster. It's definitely annoying. We just about got this guy down. Alright, and that is the end of D-Rex. Probably say that's my least favorite fight in the game. Yeah, it kinda does. Namely with that one turtle boss. And now it's time for the last stage. We have beaten everything that Sigma has thrown at us up to this point. Last thing for us is to go against the big guy himself. And what a better opportunity to show off an interesting thing here. So this little hole here will shoot out these little caterpillar guys. If we charge up our rolling shield, it gives us a shield that allows us to damage anything that comes into contact with it. And these little caterpillar guys will drop health, they'll drop ammunition, they'll drop extra lives. This is basically your way of filling up your reserves before going into the final boss battle. And yeah, this is basically what I'm doing here, just to fill up my sub-tank that I use against D-Rex. Alright, with that, we're all fully healed. So it's time to go off against the fight against the big guy himself. At the end of this long shaft.
Welcome. I see you managed to get here by yourself. Very impressive. I could destroy you, but I will not rob my pet of that pleasure. He knows how to deal with betrayers. Should you live, I will be waiting for you. Don't disappoint me, X.
So our next boss here is Velgarder. Or it would be if I didn't Hadouken him.
Oh my god, you're Hadouken my dog! Excellent job, X. I see why Zero counted on you. You're almost as good a hunter as I was. But the time of your destruction has arrived. You shall regret ever having defied me.
Don't worry, I'll go against this guy legit. Sparkshot is your friend here. Sigma here can be very tough. He, of course, will be using the wall jump just like you. And use a great effect. This guy has a lot of damage. His attacks are very brutal. And I am just really not doing too good right now. He is going full Sith Lord here with a lightsaber. And basically, what your strat to do against this guy, just all climb up here in order to coax him into jumping up, leaving him exposed to attacks from the spark shots. Ow! Alright, that was something, but yeah, we're still good. We don't need to fuel up because our main resources are all good. Yeah, that'd definitely be a strat. Yeah, I know it's fun Hadoukening Velgarder, but I do want to go after Sigma the legit. Yep, I know all your dialogue, buddy. You are very, very confident in your dog's abilities. I just love doing that. It's so stupid, but I love it. And yeah, just like Velgarder, you can also use the Hadouken against Sigma, but I want to actually have a bit of challenge here. So Sigma's himself, pretty imposing threat. His design definitely reminds me a lot of Ganondorf, which is interesting because this game came out years before Ocarina of Time. But, you know, whatever. In fact, I think his spirit battle in Smash Ultimate even involves Ganondorf, which is just interesting. And as we'll see going later into the series, this guy is definitely a pain. He's pretty much this series' equivalent of Dr. Wily, as the recurring threat throughout the series, and he definitely goes through a lot of phases and transformations as things progress. I'd say probably my favorite incarnation of Sigma is this one. He just looks so cool with his sleek design with a lightsaber and stuff. Okay, definitely want to use sub-tank here. Fuel up. And one more hit should do it. There we go. Sigma is down. He's just ahead now. Now for the true final battle against Sigma. This is no joke. This guy is really powerful. And definitely the threat that you'll want to save your sub-tanks for. Alright, his claws, of course, have those electric attacks. He will shoot fire from his mouth. But there's also another attack he can do there where he shoots the energy balls. Just want to kind of coax the claws into coming down using a platform so that you can target his head. He only has one weakness, and that is to the rolling shield. Yeah, imagine that the most defensive weapon in the game is the weapon you need to use to defeat the final boss. This fight's no joke. It is very tough. He does a lot of damage with his attacks, and he'll definitely use a lot of your sub-tanks. Be prepared for this fight. I really didn't like that. Alright. That went pretty well. Alright, want a sub-tank here. And of course, the music in this fight is great. I just love how somber it is. Like, it's almost tragic that we have to take down Sigma, which it kind of is. He used to be our boss, and now he is the most evil entity in the world right now. A hero turned villain, imagine that. But yeah, not only that, but imagine all the souls that had to die in order to get to this point. Sigma infected the bosses and turned him into mavericks. X-Zero had to die because of him. He's responsible for a lot of grief in this adventure. And ultimately, we're the ones who have to put him down. So yeah, this is just a thrilling fight, both story-wise and in gameplay. Very difficult, but it makes sense given everything we've been up against to this point. I was not expecting that claw to go down. So we are pretty good here. Let's just refill with another sub-tank. And yeah, this is why I recommend going after the armor upgrades, because the added defense really helps. Alright, one more hit should do it. Of course, you can also do the wall climb in order to get up to the head, but it's a little tricky with the way that his claws move. But with that, we have finally beaten Sigma.
No! It's not possible! I'm a Reploid! I can't be destroyed by you! Why, X? Why have you done this to us? Without the humans, my Reploid brothers could have ushered in a new age!
A great end to an amazing game. The war has ended for now, and peace has been restored. But those who sacrifice themselves for the victory will never return.
Except not really.
Exhausted, X gazes at the destruction he helped cause, and wonders why he chose to fight. Was there another way? Standing on the cliff, the answer seemed to escape him. He only knows that he'll fight the Mavericks again before he finds his answer. How long will he keep on fighting? How long will his pain last? Maybe only the X-Buster on his hand knows for sure. Hopefully he doesn't have to go through this whole thing like 7 more times, 8 if you're counting the RPG spin-off, but you know, just saying. Goes without saying, I love this track. It's just good for setting the bittersweet tone that this ending gives us. then we get a little cast call of all the various enemies that we fought over the course of the game. What can be said about this game that hasn't been said before? As a standalone game, this is just a fantastic experience from start to end. Just one of the best games I have ever played. And as the start of a brand new series for Capcom that further develops the Mega Man franchise, it is an incredible start with what they were able to do. Taking everything that made the classic Mega Man games on the NES great and translating them onto the SNES in this quality is just tremendous. And they add so much to the formula that makes everything just... They really did a good job with this game. I have to give it to the developers for just making an incredible experience. This really checks all the boxes for me. Gameplay, it is a very fun experience. You can make the game as easy or as difficult as you want, depending on the different routes you take and whether you go after all the upgrades. Visually, this is a very good-looking SNES game. Still holds up even to this day. And it definitely has its value over even the remake and re-releases that have been for it. And what can I say about the soundtrack that I haven't said before? It's a tremendously great soundtrack that fits the scenarios, all the different levels, the mood and tone of the situations just perfectly. And at the end of it all is a simple but very compelling story about these robots fighting for humanity's safety against a great evil. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and definitely one of my favorite games to get to revisit. And it was fun getting to show off my optimum route of going through the game, and the different stages I picked in their particular order. It's definitely not the way most people would play for this game, but I definitely think the way that I performed was acceptable. Oh yeah, I bought the X Legacy collection just so that I could experience this game on stream, and I'd say it was definitely worth it, and I'm very excited to get to play the other games that came with it. So I have played X2, I haven't played X3 or X4, but I'll definitely get around to streaming those games at some point. It was definitely fun getting to revisit this classic that I really enjoyed. But yeah, that pretty much does it for Mega Man X. In terms of other games I'll be playing in the near future of this channel, I definitely got a good one that I have been really hoping to jump into for quite some time. So as we leave you on this thank you screen, just want to say thank you for joining me on this very brief but very exciting adventure. And I'll see you on the next one.
You have won a temporary victory, X. What you destroyed was only a temporary body. My spirit remains intact. In time, I will find other bodies strong enough to do my bidding, and I will return. I shall see you soon, X. Very soon.